I mean, obviously the easy ones are Poland and let's say sort of Upper and Lower Silesia and the Czech Republic. That's obvious. Russia, though, is where we're seeing the biggest growth right now. I mean, you just saw it on that slide earlier on. 700,000 square meters of stock is being built currently. I mean, it's an insane amount of warehousing, but this is being taken up by local retailers delivering on the Russian market. So the biggest opportunity, let's say from a development perspective, would be in Russia and then followed by Poland in, let's say, Eastern Europe. But there is one market that structurally could serve a huge area, and it's not being served at the moment. And Damian, over to you.
Serbia, well, yeah, I mean, if you look at Europe in terms of where you can reach within a 9-hour catchment, Upper Silesia, Belgrade, Nice in Serbia, you're covering two huge geographies from those two locations. And one of those has got zero in terms of modern logistics space. So that for me would be a very interesting long-term strategic play. It's also on two of the pan-European rail freight routes. So again, I'd be looking at that as a location, as a strategic asset.
Okay, interesting. Tia, do you want to tackle the Netherlands? Where should people be looking if they're looking to invest in the Netherlands? What locations, what type of assets, what should they be thinking about?
Well, if we look at the Netherlands, we have the obvious X going from Amsterdam to Rotterdam through the Brabantse Stederij, as it's called, so the cities in Brabant, and then downwards to Venlo. These locations, which at the moment don't have a lot of prime yield or prime assets available, are always very interesting. But let's not forget the axes that go to the east. So there you could say the corridor that goes on the A12 and so forth towards Germany, but also Poland. And then the third part that could be very interesting is the hubs we discussed. Look into the urban hubs near the very dense population of the west of the Netherlands, for example. So there could be opportunities in the future as well.
Okay, good. You can say whether you agree with Tia or not in terms of the Benelux.
I agree.
And also particularly Spain and Italy. What locations do you think are interesting? Where should people be looking?
We are now focusing on mainly on the Madrid area and Barcelona. Just when you go out of Madrid, the first 20, 30, 40 kilometers are full of logistic space along the highway, the A2, the R2. That's great investment market. It's not only for city distribution, but it's also for full Spain and Portugal distribution. So today we only focus on these markets, but I can think of other markets in Spain as well. When you take Italy, for example, it's the bigger Milan area, which is quite big. That area, it's the northern part of Italy, which is mainly the logistics hotspot for full of Italy. There you could be interested in Rome, but Rome land is very difficult to develop. It's not flat like we're used to here, and you definitely want to have some size in a market like that, because otherwise, Italy is a big country. When you're based in Milan, you have to do the logistics management in the Rome area. That's not that easy. In Netherlands it's easy. You can drive all through the Netherlands in one day and visit 6 buildings and 6 tenants and whatever it is. But that doesn't work in countries like Spain and Italy.